At 8:23 last Sunday morning, I had a WhatsApp message from the getaway driver. He was away for the weekend filming steam trains, and I'd only just got back from Borneo the day before. The message was simple. It said, "Was I filming Eddystone?" Well, no was the answer. I didn't know it was running, but I suppose I should have looked at his website and I'd have seen the list of rail tours. Anyway, I just about had time to put everything on charge because I had a flying lesson at 10 o'clock. Fortunately, the chap I was flying with is a rather punctual sort of fellow, so I was done by 12 o'clock, but I still needed to refuel the aeroplane, rig up the GoPros. I took off at about 20 to 1 and headed east towards Plymouth. The plan was to intercept the train just west of Saltash, where it passed over the River Tamar into Cornwall. Ah, there's the blighter, just about to cross the viaduct. Tally-ho! As the train ran through St Germans, I made a beeline for Trawlfoot, which is the summit on this part of the line. With over 20 knots of headwind, there was a stiff westerly breeze blowing. I knew I'd have trouble keeping up, and therefore I cheated. I did get to Trawlfoot first, but clear of the summit, the train thundered ahead. I suppose I should introduce my opponent. Eddystone is a West Country class Pacific, built by the Southern Railway in 1946. The designer, Oliver Bulleid, wasn't afraid to innovate. His locomotives had cast steel wheels and used a lot of fabricated components instead of expensive castings. The all-steel boiler, mostly welded, was well known for its free steaming abilities, and the striking appearance, often referred to as a spam can, was not streamlining. It was so the locomotive would pass through a standard carriage washer to be cleaned. The most unusual feature of the locomotive was chain-driven valve gear, which, along with the centre connecting rod, ran in an oil bath between the frames. Brilliant on the drawing board, in service this valve gear proved troublesome, although that was partly due to poor manufacturing and maintenance rather than any inherent design fault. However, in the mid-1950s, 60 of the class of 110 locomotives, including Eddystone, were rebuilt to a more conventional appearance. The troublesome chain drive was removed and replaced with 3 sets of conventional valve gear. And the spam can outer casing was removed to facilitate easier maintenance. Even with these modifications, the Bulleid Pacific was still a handsome machine. Eddystone continued in service until 1964. It then sat in a scrapyard for 20-something years before being restored. Try as I might, I couldn't keep up, and as we approached Liskeard, the train was pulling well ahead. I was flying fairly low, about 500 feet. That's what I'll tell the bench anyway. This meant I had to go south of Liskeard Station, so I saw the train in the distance crossing Moore's Water Viaduct and heading north up towards Doubleboys and the next summit. Again, I took a straight line towards the Glyn Valley. After the summit at Doubleboys, the line speed is reduced in the Glyn Valley, and I caught the train again just west of Largin Viaduct. I circled the train at Restormel Manor, just outside Lostwithiel, and waved it farewell. It carried on down to Parr, to be turned on the turntable at St Blaise before heading back to Bristol later that day. I'd been bouncing along for nearly an hour and headed back towards Roach. I'd been beaten fair and square by the Bulleid Pacific and cheerfully admitted defeat. As I neared the airstrip, I set up for a glide approach onto the short runway, which was exactly into wind. I kept a bit of spare energy. There can be some nasty curl-over on the approach, and I didn't want to end up in what's known as Gresham's Gap. The air was still lively, so I wheeled the machine on, but we were down and turning off in 100 yards or so. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.